totally agree on this. That immigration policy reform is the key to the solution of a lot of our problems.
Yeah.
But the problem is that none of the big parties, Democratic Party, Republican Party, nobody wants to touch this Pandora box, because both of them, I probably believe that that touching the immigration reform will cause the unpopularity and votes and stuff like that. So I know. I mean, both of us work in healthcare, and we know that how much strain this bad immigration policy causes on our system.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't necessarily think that immigration has to be reformed. If we were just to enforce the laws that are already on the books, it would automatically begin a cost savings, especially in healthcare, because that's what we're talking about. But I think we should agree that if we really want, and I say that because how do you know how much you're spending if you don't know who you're spending it on? If there are 47 million people who are not participating in any kind of health care plan, okay, then you couple that with the people who are very sick, very ill, have major medical problems. I bet you that number doubles to about 90 to 100 million. That's basically a third. So you need 200 other million people to throw into the pool to take care of that 100 million people. And we haven't even gotten into the elective stuff, where you have a hernia or you've got a bump on you. And so I would agree, if we really want to begin to address cost in our country, we have to start with immigration. How much money are we spending on per person, and who are these people that we're spending this money on?
Now the immigration with if you're talking about immigration, let me tell you this, that my wife grew up here, but I am an immigrant,
Mm-hmm.
And I went through the immigration process
The proper way.
My family is still in the immigration process. I mean, I haven't been able to bring any of my family here so far,
Right.
even though I filed my immigration.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's fair?
It's not in 96. No, that's what I was coming to. I'm telling you that the thing is that our immigration laws are so complicated, so cumbersome, the process is so prolonged and so expensive that it discourages the legal immigration, and it encourages the illegal immigration. I know a lot of people who tried the legal immigration in the beginning, but because of all these problems, they ultimately got a visitor visa for their mom or brother and sister and whoever, and come here and they stay here. And then the mom is 70 years old, 75, 80 years old, she gets sick, and they take her to the ER, and us pay for the expenses.
Yeah, she doesn't speak English, she doesn't have any identification really.
Right.
But at the same time, I would agree with you there. That needs to be reformed. But here's the problem. What do you do with the millions of people who were here on a visitor's visa or a work visa or a student visa, and they've just kind of assimilated into the population? What do you do with them?
I personally think that it is very, very hard and practically near to impossible to get away with these people.
But what do you do with them?
I think that we should reform the policy in a way that to assimilate these people in the society.
But that still hasn't addressed what do you do with them? Because if you're not working and you've never worked in this country and you're here on a extended visa pass, a visitor pass that says you no longer even should be here, what do you do with that? I mean, what do you do with your friends whose parents are here or whose grandma may be here illegally? How do you fix that?
Some of these people. One of the reasons that illegal immigration is flourished so much in this country is because the business, especially the big business, they patronize the illegal immigrants.
I would agree that's a good point, but they're not employing a 70-year-old. They're not employing a 60-year-old who can't speak the language, who has no skills in this world. They're not doing that. There is millions of people just like that in little Asia, little pockets in big cities, urban cities, where there is basically an underground world of people coming in and out all the time, doing different type of jobs that they have skills for. Some is legal, some is illegal. That's a huge population of people, and nobody even talks about that, because that's another problem with not having your borders secured. You open up a whole other underground world of illegal activity, because what makes it illegal is that they're already here illegally. Mm-hmm. That's what makes it illegal. Now, whether they're breaking any other laws, they've already broken the basic law. You're here illegal. That doesn't give you legal rights as an American citizen, because you're not even here legally. No other country in the world can you go to illegally and then go and protest in the middle of a street and demand rights. Try that in China and see how it works. Remember Tiananmen Square? Those were actually citizens of China. Can you imagine if you were a person who was not legally in China? You're on the streets. And I would say occupy. I'm going to use the word occupy. Occupy D.C. for legalization of illegal aliens. What is that?
Let me tell you, William, this example, okay? The thing is that, throughout the course of history, the richer nations and countries have always had to deal with the problem of immigration.
Right.
And this is still true.
Yeah.
Now, United States is the worldwide nucleus for the immigration because of its financial strength and economy and
education, quality of life,
standard of living,
right,
and all that stuff. Employment and all all those things. Now, but let me tell you this: that there are regional nucleuses for the immigration, and they face the similar problems on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Now, for example, when I was in Pakistan before immigration, Pakistan has been a nucleus for immigration from the surrounding countries. That countries include now probably not because they are doing better, but before they included China, Russia, India, Bangladesh, Burma, Nepal.
Pretty much all of Southeast Asia.
Pretty much all the Southeast Asia. And Afghanistan, 30 million immigrants from Afghanistan during the war and all that stuff. Now, it was a little before when I came to the United States, we few friends sitting in a restaurant and eating ice cream. So our waiter is a Bengali. So one of my friends said, okay, let me tease him a little bit. So he calls the waiter and says, do you have ID? Do you have in Pakistan there's an identity card which is like equivalent to our driving license,
right,
because
something that we want to do for all people who want to vote in this country, but people say we shouldn't.
Right. So that identity, do you have the identity card? He says, how many you want? How many you want? So
how many you want?
How many you want? Because the problem is that you go to the registration office, you pay the clerk, and you can get as many cards you want. So there is,
that's corruption on a major level.
I know this is a major level. So the problem is that every country that has a better standard of living or better incomes and jobs and stuff, they have to deal with these problems. And although the people in all of these countries try to deal with these issues, but it is practically impossible to deal with these issues. But that doesn't mean that we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the uniqueness of our country is we only have two borders, north and south. When you talk about Pakistan, they have at least 3 different countries.
More than
that border them, that have a way to get in. Okay. Also, we live in technology now. This is a technological world. You don't have to spend billions of dollars building a physical barrier.
No.
You have satellites, one called the Hubble, who can see a nickel from space. You can't see a person coming across the desert, but you can see a nickel? Come on. Do you see what I'm saying? We can have a virtual fence that will impede people from crossing the border. And how about a national identity? We have Social Security numbers.
I mean, we can monitor China and Russia and Iraq and Afghanistan from
Yeah,
here.
but we can't stop 10 Mexicans coming across, and not necessarily the Mexicans, 10 illegal individuals coming across a desert from Mexico or coming from Canada. The Canadian border is just as porous as the southern border with Mexico. But we can see how many nuclear facilities are building in Iran and if they're firing up a reactor. But we can't see people coming across our borders?
No, we can't.
What is that?
That's it.
Come on. This is crazy. See, I think the real reason that we don't address immigration is because too many hands are in the cookie jar getting the benefits of this behavior. And unfortunately, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. In our country, every policy should be, what is good for America? If it's not good for America, then you should not be engaged in that activity as a business, as government, and even as private citizens. But that's not the mantle. That's not what we use as our motto when we make decisions in our country. You know, and the same thing's going to happen in South Carolina. Are they going to choose a candidate based on what's best for America or what the media is telling them that is going to make the best candidate to run against Obama? I mean, that's what it really boils down to. And every question, I think, should begin with, is this person going to be good for America? Are they going to restore America to its former glory and give it more luster to be even more successful?
This is what bothers me about the Republican nomination process so far is that the people are just thinking who can beat Obama.
Yeah, that's it.
They are not thinking who's the right person, who's the good person, who has the better plan, who has the intelligence.
Most of them don't even know any of their plans. They're just listening to sound bites.
So this is just and I think this is one of the major causes of this is the two-party monopoly on the system.
I know you're still hung up on the two-party monopoly.
I am hung up with this, and I mean I'm a strong competition person. You know, I believe in competition.
Listen,
open market.
Trust me, if Americans thought that there was actually a third-party candidate that would actually garner enough votes to beat one of the two existing parties, I would say 60-70% of the people would vote for that person. The only person, we talked about this last time, had enough votes and was actually leading was Ross Perot, but he had some mental breakdown and got out of the race and then got back in the race. And then he basically took all the independents / moderate Republicans. They all went and jumped on Clinton's bandwagon.
Conservative or Democrats.
Well, I don't even think they were even conservative. They just wanted an alternative. Because what he was saying was much like what Ron Paul is saying now. You know, even though Ron Paul has a few things that are, not a few, a lot of things that are a little way out there, but his core message about restoring America to America and keeping Americans to Americans, people want that now. And the reason why is because the economy is so bad. And because they're angry.
William, the thing is that we think Ron Paul way out because that's what media is telling.
No.
You know,
I've actually read two of his books, and there are some things in his books that I did not find absolutely appealing at all, especially when it deals with foreign policy and the handling of our relationship with some of our allies in the world. I did not like that. So it's not just what the media is saying. He also has a letter that comes out of Texas that's been going on, that there were some very, very unfriendly and absolutely disgusting things written in there when it comes to minorities and dealing with issues. That was absolutely unpalatable. So he has a lot of quality suggestions on how to fix things. I give him that. But there are a lot of things that he is like way off base.
I think these things sound way off to us because we have gone far away from libertarianism, which was our original ideology.
It was originally the ideology. It was.
You know, we have gone
individual liberties. Absolutely.
We have gone far away from that, and that's why it sounds. I mean, for at least 100 years or even more than 100 years. We had the policy of